How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, as you all know, I'm a former criminal. I was involved in the criminal underworld and stuff like that. I've been arrested for many different things. Offensive weapons, assault on police, witness intimidation, firearms, poison with possession of poison to endanger life even. Many different things, guys. So many different things, I can't even tell you. So what it is, I keep up to date with the current affairs and stuff and the news about what's going on, reference policing levels, crime, knife crime, gun crime, violent offences, right? I'm anti-establishment, I'm anti-authority, but I keep up to date with these figures now. I've got these here because what it is, like I say, I need to do a video on this. Because like I say, as a former criminal that is now out of crime, looking at these figures here, and obviously knowing what goes on, I definitely got out of crime at the wrong time because police numbers are down, crime rates are up, and the fact is it's a green light for criminals to commit crimes across the board. Like I say, I don't like the police. The police stitch me up. The police use shitty tactics. So do the CPS. So do the courts. They're all corrupt in my opinion. But like I say, the statistics don't lie, right? So police figures show that offences are up 14% in a year, with knife crime and gun crime rising even more steeply. Right now, 14% is across all crimes, right? Saying that recorded crimes are up 14% in a year, right, across the board, with gun crime and knife crime rising even more steeply, right? Now, for Joe Public, for law-abiding citizens and stuff, this must be a very scary prospect, right? The fact that, like I say, crime rates are up, it's all over the media, like actually seeing like a visual deterrent as in a police, bobbies on the beat, is becoming less and less, to be honest, guys. It's as rare as rocking horse shit to see police on the streets, yeah. They're normally in offices, they're patrolling around in cars and stuff. Bobby's on the beat, guys, right? Community police stations are closing down, places are unpoliced, youths and criminals are running feral. And like I say, I could definitely got out of crime at the wrong time. Looking at these figures and looking at the headlines and stuff, it's alarming at best for Joe Public that are on the right side of the tracks. For criminals, they're going to be rubbing their hands together and stuff. So let's go into it a bit deeper, yeah. Knife crime is up 21% in 12 months to September. Now, knife crime is up 21% in England and Wales in the 12 months to September last year, right? Now, from September onwards, right, there's already been numerous deaths at the hands of knives, right? In the UK, just on New Year's Day alone, I think there was 4 murders from New Year's Eve into New Year's Day in London alone, right? 4 people died at the hands of knives, right? 21%, guys, that is a scary figure. Gun crime has risen by 20% according to quarterly figures released yesterday. Now, if you look at the headline in the article and stuff by Alan Travis, yeah, of The Guardian, about 5:30 yesterday, this story was published and stuff. Gun crime, obviously, for those that might be from outside of the UK, obviously firearms are illegal in the UK, but firearms offences have risen by 20%, right? Like I say, there's a direct correlation between policing figures, policing numbers, yeah, on the streets, and criminals and stuff like that. And like I say, I've done interviews on firearms and gun crime and murders and stuff, right, at the hands of fucking firearms, stating that like criminals can be brazen, where you'd normally wait to night time for nightfall to go out and commit like a firearms offence. People brazen and can do it in the daytime because there's simply not the numbers of police on the streets. There's visible police deterrent, there is none. Police numbers across the board have been cut. Firearms officers, community police stations are closing down, frontline policing, police stations are closed down. Fact is, it's fast becoming a criminal's paradise, guys, right? I'm now out of crime. I don't vindicate anybody committing crime, but the reality is, it's like the Wild West out there. Welcome to lawless Britain. So yeah, gun crime up 20%. Right, police chief said the increases included a 32% rise in domestic burglaries, right, to 261,965 offences. Right, so for those that don't know, right, domestic burglaries are like you've got 2 sorts of burglaries, right? You've got domestic, which is like your house, your dwellings, like houses, flats, yeah, stuff like that. Then you've got commercial burglaries. Commercial burglaries are your business premises, things like that, right? But like I said, 32% rise, or 261,965 domestic burglary offences so far up to September last year. There's been an 18% rise in vehicle-related crime, or 443,577 offences, right? So obviously that's, the thing is, right, for a lot of people that don't know, right, a lot of crimes are interlinked, right? Now, vehicle-related offences, right? Now, there's many different vehicle-related. You've got TWAC, taken without the owner's consent. You've got people steal cars to order, like Audis, cars like that, yeah. There's just been a thing up here recently that Nissan Dukes they've been stolen and stuff. But vehicle-related crime, it could be drug addicts that are desperate to get the next fix and stuff, put a brick through the window, rummage around, find the fucking sat-nav or a laptop or a tablet or something in the boot or something like that, steal them. But 18% rise in vehicle-related crimes, right? 443,577 offences, that's a lot. Official figures show that numbers of police officers in England and Wales have dropped by 930 in the last 12 months to 121,929 officers, right? The lowest policing levels since comparable records began in 1996. So what they're saying there, guys, really in layman's terms, is there's fewer police now than there was since records began back in 1996, right? So you're talking, what, 30 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years, right, guys? It's a very, very alarming. Like I say, guys, I'm a former criminal, so these figures for me, I'm now out of crime. Like I say, I try to steer people away from crime, but criminals that are still active are going to be looking at these figures and rubbing the bloody hands together. Like I say, so 930 officers they've lost in 12 months, so they're down to 121,929, the lowest policing levels since comparable records began in 1996. Again, guys, plays into the criminals' hands. The criminals are going to prosper. Must be very, very scary prospect for Joe Average, for Joe Public that live on the right side of the tracks. Increases in knife crime and gun crime are particularly alarming. With 37,443 recorded knife offences, right? Now, I just want to make a disclaimer, guys, right? As it says there, recorded knife offences. Now, a lot of people don't go to the police, do they? Right? If you live in that criminal world or you live in that gang lifestyle, right, where death is an occupational hazard, right? You don't go to the police and you don't go to hospital, because if you go to hospital, they can contact the police. Next minute, the police are at your bedside. They're asking questions. You don't answer questions, do you? But like I say, increase. So knife crime is like, that's a lot. 37,443 recorded knife offences. And as I've alluded to, that's without going into people that don't speak to the police and stuff. Again, for Joe Public, this is going to be a very alarming 6,694 firearms offences in the past 12 months. Now, again, as I've alluded to, people come to these videos from every different area of the world, yeah? Firearms are banned here in the UK. You're looking on average about 5 years if you get caught with a firearm, and on average about a year a bullet, should that be the case. But 6,694 firearms offences in the past 12 months. Now, I'm from Manchester, guys. Now, the media labelled us in the early 90s. In the 90s, we was known as Gunchester, right? Because of the amount of firearms that... firearms of murders, unsolved murders, shootings, kneecappings, and just attempts on people's lives, right? We was called Gunchester, right? That's how predominant gun crime was here in Manchester. Now, same with Liverpool, same with Birmingham, same with London. Wherever you go city-wise, there's always problems with firearms and stuff. Drugs and firearms go hand in hand, but 6,694 firearms offences in the past 12 months. That is a lot. But again, you've got to look at the policing levels, guys. As I've alluded to, the police numbers are at the lowest they've ever been, at 121,929 police officers. All right, like I say, people see corruption within the police forces. They see the fact of falling, like arrests and crimes being uninvestigated, unsolved and even uninvestigated, right? And people turn to criminals, hard men, and gangs on the estates to sort out low levels of antisocial behaviour, theft and things like that. The facts are, people have lost faith in the police and stuff. And when you see these figures, there's a direct correlation, as I've alluded to, between policing levels and actually rising crime. But yeah, 606,694 firearms offences in 12 months, which is very high. Right, as we move on, right, 36% rise in stalking and harassment. Again, guys, fewer police on the streets. People, it's becoming like the Wild West out there, and like I've alluded to a million times in these videos, it's fast becoming a criminal's paradise where criminals, where the government, like I say, government policing cuts, right, have undermining the police's role and the police's job, right? And like I say, what happens then? What they do then, you'll see the CPS and stuff, they've got targets that they need to hit, so they'll charge people even if they're not guilty of an offence, because they've got targets to hit, because like I said to, because they're not arresting as many people, because crime's going uninvestigated or unsolved and stuff. And like I say, if you look at these figures that I've alluded to, guys, it's a criminal's paradise out there. And like I say, so they're clutching at straws, they're charging people, stitching people up to hit their targets and stuff. Police with the arrests, and also the CPS with the conviction rates and stuff. 36% rise in stalking and harassment. That's alarming, that. And the thing is, if you go to prison and say you're a victim, right, and your ex-boyfriend's been threatening you or stalking you or harassing you, he goes to prison, right? He'll be put on the public protection unit, which means that if he puts a phone number in, that number should be doubly scrutinised, and the prison should ring you and say, do you want me to clear your number so this prisoner can ring you? But the fact is, because of penny pinching, the Ministry of Justice and the prisons are not checking numbers, right? So anyone can clear a number for anybody else. So what I'm saying there is, you can still get harassed and stalked from prison. And obviously, if you don't go through the prison phone, you can get a mobile phone and do it that way. Not that, obviously, I don't condone anything like that. 29% in robbery. So like I say, that's robbery against the person, acts against the person. Robberies, muggings, jackings and stuff like that. You're seeing a rise in moped crime. That, again, like I say, people jumping off the back of a scooter, knocking somebody off the scooter, jumping on their scooter, getting off, throwing acid in the face, robbing them, mobile phones, purses, things like that. Again here, guys, so that's that. 21,000 plus police officers have been cut since 2010 under the Tory government, Tory scum. Police are understaffed and massively overstretched and stuff like that. Police numbers are at the lowest in 30 years, right? Now, like I've said, like I've alluded to, guys, crime is everywhere. Crime affects everybody. And like I say, prison doesn't work. So when these people are leaving prison, they're going back to crime. It's a revolving door. Like I say, them figures, to me, just show that the criminals can go out and commit. It's a green light for criminals to commit crimes across the board, and the police are powerless to stop it. Now, obviously, I don't vindicate people doing that, but the reality is, if there's fewer police on the streets, guys, right, and you've got less chance of getting caught, are people going to turn to crime increasingly? Absolutely, because it's risk versus reward and stuff. Some people are stupid and they'll go out and commit crime anyway. Some people look at the risk versus the reward and stuff, and then you see these figures and stuff, and you sat there, criminals are rubbing their hands, because the reality is that you can go out, crime across the board soaring. And then I saw something the other day about Liverpool. There's been a lot of crime in Liverpool. Obviously, crime's rife in Liverpool as well, gun crime, knife crime and stuff, right? And all these sorts of figures are obviously taken from different parts of the country and stuff, over England and Wales. And I think Liverpool need to cut another £18 million of policing by, I think it's 2020. That's more frontline police stations, that's more frontline officers, that's more... It's just... Every officers of different fucking, could be a sexual offences unit within the police, within like Merseyside police. It could be firearms police officers, it could be community police stations on the estates and stuff, right? The reality is, again, that plays into the criminals' hands. The criminals are going to look and think, wow, this is great, we can do what we want and we're not going to get caught. And like I say, the government don't care. It doesn't affect them. All crime is to them is... The statistics fall across their desk. They look. They live in big gated houses, these people. They don't know what it's like to be the victim of crime. They don't know what it's like to live in the real world. These people live in bubbles, guys, that rule the roost over us. They don't know what crime is. They don't know what it's like to struggle. They've never been in prison. They don't know what it's like to make ends meet. So like I say, I just look at these figures and stuff, guys. Like I say, it's just all there for everyone to see. It's just... Joe Public must be scared shitless, right? The taxpayers must be genuinely scared and think, you know what? Well, it's alarming at best, right? But like I say, I'm a former criminal, and like I say, I see these figures and stuff, and I'm no longer involved in crime, but I definitely got out of crime at the wrong time. When you look at these statistics and stuff, it's just like, wow, definitely got out at the wrong time, because I was good at what I was doing before, so if I went back, I'd be even better because there's fewer police on the streets. Right, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. It's not the best video, but it's on statistics and figures and stuff, reference crime, policing and everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon. All right, guys, bye.